The Middle East is a region very important for everyone. Despite the fact that it has given the world the third monotheistic religion and possesses a vast cultural heritage. This region has endured long conflicts in regards to its identity, but also has witnessed territorial, national and ideological tensions. Geopolitically and geostrategically, the Arab world is of utmost importance when it comes to international security. Romania, especially starting from the 60s to the 90s, has played a very consistent diplomatic role in the Middle East, consolidating its relationship with all the Arab partners. The project Cultural Diplomacy in the Levant, debates with the ambassadors accredited in Bucharest, aims to further explore Romania's ties with the Levantine states and to offer a full view of the cultural but also geopolitical landscape of the region. As we have said, returning from 1965, Romania has had the most dynamic and consistent activity in its relations with the Arab states. It was in this year that it has established diplomatic relations with the Haşemit Kingdom of Jordan. We are honored to have with us today His Excellency Mr. Sufyan Qudah, the Ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary of the Haşemit Kingdom of Jordan in Bucharest. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for accepting our invitation today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am truly honored today to be in the Institute for Advancing Studies in the Levant in Cultural and Civilization. This is a highly respected institute, and it's a true pleasure for me to be here and to be among friends. Thank you for having me.
And thank you once again that we have the opportunity to discuss a little bit about the cultural ties of Romania and your country. First of all, Your Excellency, how do you see the general cultural relations between the Haşemit Kingdom of Jordan and Romania?
Thank you. This is a very good question, because this is where my interest area has been always here since I arrived here in Romania. I am truly honored to represent my country here in this beautiful country of Romania, and I had the pleasure of meeting and be hosted by many of Romanian friends here, and I have happily discovered the many common interests and many common in culture between Jordan and Romania. The cultural aspects, I believe, or the relations from people to people is the most important in any both countries' relation. Jordan, since we established our diplomatic ties, Jordan has been involved in many of the cultural aspects through an agreement of cultural program between the two countries. This agreement allowed now over 13,000 Jordanians to be graduated from Romanian universities. Most of them, they are graduating from medicine schools and engineering schools. Medicine school, or the level of education in medicine, is highly received in Jordan. There is an exceptional and universities and colleges that here in Romania. When I say we have a little bit over 13,000 graduates, I don't recall if we have any government that being in Jordan that do not have at least one minister who was graduated from Romania. We have many Romanian graduates, Jordanian graduates, who are in high official positions in Jordan, whether it's at the government or government agencies or military and other agencies that we have. And this is reflected a lot on the common interest and the common cultural stance between the two countries. Above all, those 13,000 who graduated from Romania, a lot of them, they got married to a Romanian lady. So we have now in Jordan little over 5,000 wives, Romanian wives, who has been living in Jordan for such a long time. And I know a lot of Romanian ladies who are living in Jordan, and they are living not only in the capital of Amman, they live in the small villages and small counties in Jordan. And to see them, how they integrated in the culture of Jordan, you will understand what does it mean when we say we have a common culture and common understanding between the two cultures here in Romania and in Jordan. Also, we have now a third generation where we have many, you can multiply those 5,000 by at least 4. We have a third generation of half Romanian, half Jordanian, and they all speak Romanian. And so you can imagine the number that we have of the Jordanian who speaks Romanian language, who have been visiting, or they have cousins or uncles living here in Romania. And this has brought both peoples of Jordan and Romania much more and closer to each other. Back long time ago, when we did not have TV, or we did not have the social media now that we are using, at that time I remember that and this is, we're talking about the power of people and the power of culture. And, but all what the Jordanian back in the 70s, they know about Romania is one person, Nadia Comaneci at that time. This lady that brought the name of Romania to the heart of people in Jordan. And this is where, I remember that everybody was talking about this person. This is the power when we say people to people, and this is how people bring countries of interest much closer to each other. This year we will be able to expand more on the cultural and exchange educational program. This year we will receive 26 students from Jordan. They are coming here to study on the medicines. So you would imagine those 26 that every year that we will have from Jordan to come and study here in Romania and learn more about the culture of Romania. I remember when I was appointed as an ambassador here, I was invited by the alumni club, the Jordanian graduates in Jordan. And I was really surprised when I went there, and the members of this alumni club, little over 2,000 members. And would you imagine this number? And whenever we have any official visits going to Jordan, those alumni clubs, they do a reception. And I went to one of those receptions, and it is like what they called it here when we have a delegation from Bucharest, the mayor office. They called it Little Bucharest, because everybody's in that reception, where we had almost 800 people in that reception, in that dinner. Everybody inside this big hall, they all speak Romanian. and you would imagine how they surprised, and they played music, Romanian music. They were dancing Romanian dance, and of course it was mixed with the Jordanian traditional songs as well. So the cultural aspect is very important, and I think both countries, they are on the right track to concentrate more on this path, where a lot of friendship, understanding, mixed families comes out of it. So it is indeed, and it is one of my main projects here in Romania, is to bring more and more of this cultural activities between the two countries. Whenever I go and visit the counties here in Romania, whenever I go, I have to meet the mayor, I meet the chamber of commerce, I go visit universities, I meet businessmen of the local, and I found at least a person, a Romanian, that he visited Jordan and knows a lot about Jordan, and this is bringing again the relations between the two countries is much closer. We have the twinning program, the cities to cities. This program has been very successful, and we have many sister cities between Romania and Jordan. So indeed, it is very important aspects that we need also to keep working on it and give it more of our attention.
Well, thank you very much for this very clear picture on the common part of Romania and Jordan, and I think this says a lot about our future, built on culture, on sharing cultural heritage, and on social aspects also.
Your Excellency, Jordan has a very rich heritage and a lot of interesting places that Romanians would love to visit. There is, of course, the historic city of Petra, the Jordanian city of Asalt that got its UNESCO World Heritage status, also named the city of tolerance and generosity. What can you tell us about Asalt, and could you recommend us some other places that are worth visiting that are maybe less known to the Romanian public?
Thank you. Just to give you some good news about this tourism activities between Jordan and Romania. And we have put into a program here that I have met with many tourist agencies here, and we give them all the advancement and all the promotion that we can give to those offices. And this program that we have in the embassy, it gives an excellent feedback and excellent results. This year, from January 1st until June, we have an increase of 1,000% of the number of tourism or tourists coming from Romania to Jordan. Jordan becoming a very demanding destination for the Romanians. Every time I go to Petra or I go to any one of the wonderful sites that we have in Jordan, I always meet Romanian citizens that are visiting there. So it became very much that people, a destination that people would like to go and visit. The numbers speaks for this. And I believe there was a TV series once about Jordan. It opened the windows for a lot of Romanians who never visited Jordan, and they because the TV series went inside the houses of the Jordanians, and they see the hospitality and the warm receiving of any foreigners, not just only Romanian. So this is brought the tourism level and activities between Jordan and Romania becoming one of the hottest destinations. Salt, it's a unique place. Salt is a city is not far away from Amman. In 2021, UNESCO enlisted Salt on the World Heritage List. The Salt was it is built on 3 hills and in a wonderful position that overlooking the holy land and the West Bank and the whole Palestine. It was built long time ago when it was believed that it was built by the Macedonian army during the Alexander the Great at that time. And then there was many, cultures came over Salt city. It is the location of Salt. It is an important trading link between the eastern deserts and the west. And during the Ottoman period, especially in between the area of 1860 and 1920, there was a lot of prosperity in that area because of its location. It brought a lot of businessmen at that time, rich people who were merchants into that area, and they somehow brought with them a lot of craftsmen from Damascus and from Palestine and from the areas around, and so there was a lot of construction of special houses there. We have now almost over 650 significant historical buildings that is in Salt, and they are constructed of a local Yellowstone. It is totally different than what we have, and those buildings that were like houses for Jordanians who are the locals in Salt. And when you go there, you see what we call it Madafa, where it is a clan or a tribe receive large numbers of guests there. So it is wonderful, and the hospitality of the people of Salt who are very well known among the Jordanians. The hospitality and the warm welcoming is beyond imagination. Also, this city of Salt, as you have mentioned, it expressed mainly in the tolerance between the Muslims and the Christians, who developed the traditional hospitality in the city. You cannot distinguish between Muslims and Christians in Salt area. I have many personal friends who are there, either Christians or Muslims, but they give you a true example of what is this, the whole area of the Middle East, where it is the home of all Abraham. Religious, that's how these families, without counting their religious background, can come together and integrate it in that area. It is wonderful, and I have many Romanian friends who went there and visited Salt, and they were very pleased of what they saw there. So through you, I would like to invite you, both of you, to come and visit Jordan, and especially Salt area. Of course, beside Salt, as you mentioned, there is the Petra that everybody knows about, and I don't need to speak more about Petra because everybody knows about it. But I would like to speak more about other two sites that we have in Jordan. One is the Mount Nebo. Mount Nebo is an area, it's close to the city of Madaba, very close to Amman. And Mount Nebo, they believe, as it was in the Old Testament and the New Testament, where God revealed himself to Moses in that spot. And he had, on that spot, Moses had looked, he stood in that Mount Nebo spot and he looked and see the Holy Land of Palestine, and he saw where the Jordan River coming from Mount of Hermon into the Dead Sea area. It is very, and there is a church there, one of the oldest map churches in Mosaic is being found in that area. And it is a wonderful site to visit. Another site that I would like to speak about, and we have many sites, and they are second to none in the world, by the way. You know, if you go and see it in Jordan, you cannot see it anywhere else. It is the baptism site, or what we call it in Arabic, Makhtas. The baptism site, it is where Jesus is believed to have been baptized by John the Baptist. And this is where the significant, where the Christianity have started there from that spot. The site was discovered after the peace treaty between Jordan and Israel. This land was full of mines and military mines, so they started cleaning that area, and all of a sudden they came into this site. And of course, in 2015, the UNESCO listed in the World Heritage. Of course, this is all this. Of course, we had many archaeologists and scholars from the church came there and give all the proofs of that area. And we have two important visits from the Pope John Paul II, who came in 2000, and he was escorted by His Majesty King Abdullah II and Her Majesty Queen Rania. And he visited the site and recognized the site by the church as one of the pilgrimages sites that when you come and visit Jordan. And in 2009, we had Pope Benedict also visited the site, also along with His Majesty at that time. It is explicit, a very exclusive site for Christianity there, and I myself went there many times. I have taken with me many Romanian friends, and you can feel the holistic and the warm feelings when you visit that site. So this is the two sites that I would like to shed some light on. Of course, we have many sites. And by the way, whenever I ask any Romanian who goes and visits Jordan, which is the number one site that you like, they all told me about Wadi Rum. And Wadi Rum, it's in the desert, but it's a different desert. It's a rosy sand mountains that is crafted in a way that is breathtaking, magnificent, and you can have been many movies have been shot there. The famous one probably is Lawrence of Arabia, but we have many people going there to and camp in Wadi Rum, which is a wonderful site.
So, thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this impressive description of the biblical roots in
Yes.
Jordan and Jordan's link to the history of Christianity,
Yes.
which is very important for us. Reminding to the history feature in our discussion, according to archaeologists, it was discovered a 9,000-year-old shrine in Jordanian desert that is almost entirely intact. What can you tell about this finding, which shows the importance of the culture and civilization from this Levantine area for the whole world?
Yes, this is a site that is considered to be one of the biggest discoveries. A team of Jordanian and French archaeologists found it nearly, it is about 9,000 years old shrine at the remote of Nolthek site in Jordan, eastern desert. The team included archaeologists from Jordan, from Al-Haşemit al University and the French institutes of the Near East. The site was excavated during the recent decades, and it was in 2021, I believe. It is a ritual complex, and it's one of the largest structures was known as the desert kites. Or mass traps. And there are believed that have been used for coral wild gazelle for slaughter. It is an amazing site. Of course, there has been more and more examination in that area, and they still digging more to add to this. But it is now open for everybody to visit, and it is, I know it is in the radar of a lot of tourists who go and visit Jordan.
So this is also a very important discovery, and I think it shows us that it can be done much work in this field in Jordan. And Jordan remains a very important area for historians and archaeologists.
Thank you. Thank you, yes. Indeed.
Your Excellency, in the last decade, the region has been in turmoil. Jordan had to deal with security threats at the border and the refugee crisis. What are the greatest challenges that the kingdom is facing today, both internally and externally?
Thank you for this very important question. You know, the location of Jordan, you know, where it is the area, it is a hot area. The neighborhood is a very tough neighborhood. And Jordan has been the receiving end of every crisis in the region. Jordan is a country that we have limited natural resources. We are not a rich countries such as our neighboring countries. However, the most important thing that we have in Jordan that many other countries surrounding us doesn't have is stability. Stability of Jordan. And Jordan is facing many challenges. Of course, I don't have to say that, you know, the surrounding countries, they have troubles on their own. The Israel and the Palestinians from one side, and the Syrians, they still having this unsettled issues in Syria, in the north, and of course also in Iraq. So and these crises that occurred around Jordan. Many refugees came to Jordan and live now in Jordan. We have, according to UNRWA, we have about 2 million Palestinian refugees. We have, according to UNHCR, about 1.3 million Syrian refugees. We have about 300,000 Iraqis who live in Jordan. So, all these numbers, the big numbers of refugees that we have, of course from other countries as well. Now we can say we have almost 35% of our population that are refugees. And you know how this is a great challenge. Romania has played wonderful, an amazing and outstanding role during the Ukraine war, received many refugees, but could you imagine if you have the challenge of 35% of the Romanian population as refugees? I think Romania have a little over 60 or 70,000 refugees who choose to stay here in Romania. But in Jordan, we have all these refugees and living there. Just to give you an example of what we are suffering now, we have 1.3 million, as I said, Syrians refugees. 60% of them, they are below 16 years old. What does that mean? It means they don't know anything about Syria. They came, they were like 3 or 4 or 5 years old, and they are living in Jordan ever since. Now we are in the 12 years of the crisis in Syria. So all these refugees, we have, just I'm telling you the Syrians, that we have given them a free education in Jordan and a free healthcare system. And Jordan was able to produce 120,000 jobs for them. This is beyond Jordan's ability to host this number of refugees and with all its problems. Of course, this has a dimensions of social affair, it has dimensions of security, it has dimensions of economic challenges that we have. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that Jordan has limited natural resources, and the percentage of unemployment in Jordan now reach above 20%. And the difficulties that we are facing is the economic challenges that we face. Besides all this, for example, in Syria, we have 370 kilometers of borders between Jordan and Syria. Now, the biggest issue that we are suffering from is the drugs smuggling through Syria. Of course, drugs coming from another country through Syria and goes through those borders. And we have the Jordan Armed Forces have a lot of efforts trying to control all this. You know how drugs is a very, very challenging issue and it can destroy the country. So we have all these challenges. We have security challenges, we have the economic challenges, we have, as I said, the drugs issue, and we have, as I said, as Jordan hosting all these refugees. And thanks for our good friends here in Romania, they are always helping in this, but we want to, using this interview to ask for more and more of support of Jordan, because what Jordan is doing, it's on behalf of an international community. Of course, we have, as I said, 2 million Palestinians who live in Jordan, and the peace process and peace process between the Palestinians and the Israelis is one among the Jordan strategic goal, and it's in Jordan national interest that we have to arrive to a settlement where peace to be accepted by both parties and according to international resolutions and according to international narratives that we have. The whole peace process started on, and these challenges in the peace process, we are telling all our friends that this region this region will keep on to suffering mode until we reach a final settlements where peace to be achieved and the Palestinian state being found on the the borders of 1967 border lines, and they have their own state with East Jerusalem, its capital. Many challenges. Also, of course, Jordan is part of the whole world now is suffering of food security. That is not there anymore. It's for everybody. The scarcity of energy. Of course, this is also affecting Jordan. So we have many challenges. However, the good part of it that, as I said, the stability and security of Jordan is one among number one in the region, and we are working hard to keep it. Of course, Jordan is involved in all the efforts in the region, while it's in the Syria side, or with the Palestinians and the Israeli sides, or with the Iraqis from the other side. So we are trying to bring peace and security to the whole region. It is a tough region, but as I said, Jordan is marching out of this with more success and solid stand.
So thank you very much for this impressive overview of the Jordan's perspective, geostrategic perspective in the Near East. Actually, I intended to address you one more question, but I think you touched the aspect very well. So we imagine Jordan as a country that proposes a model of tolerance in the Near East, and in this way, I think you can play as country much more and plead much more for mediating the rival between the rival cultures and countries in the Middle East. You have the potential, you have the cultural potential for proposing a model of tolerance in the Near East.
Of course, especially in Jordan we have many minorities in Jordan, from minorities, background. And we have, of course, Christianities in Jordan. And I think Jordan is proven that it's the relations between the Christianities and the Muslims in Jordan is something that you don't find it in any other country. We are living, I myself as a Muslim, I went to Christian schools, all my studies when I was young. And many Jordanians, and I have many friends who are Christians. And of course it's a vice versa. There's many Christians who studied in the government schools in Jordan. So we never saw there is any much of a difference between either Muslims or Christians. And this applies also in the political system that we have in Jordan, where we have always, in every government, we have the minorities, including the Christian members of the government, on all the government agencies as well. So it is the unique relations between the Jordanians themselves, and we never looked for the race or religious or a background. It's something that distinguishes among Jordanians, and we are blessed, of course. the big umbrella for all this stability now that's brought by the monarch system that we have, and brought by His Majesty King Abdullah II, who is have a clear vision on this, that consistent and clear and solid, that helped Jordan to become, as you have said, a true example in the region for tolerance.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Okay. And this is our goal as Institute, to promote shared cultures and identities from Levant and to propose the model of peace for the region. Thank you very much, and I hope we have other opportunities to meet and to work together on behalf of our institute.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you I'm honored to be here again. Thank you.